Hello, everyone.
Yes, you.
The Info on the Go listener.
This one's for you.
Whether you've been with us since episode 1 or you just hopped on the bus, we want to take a moment to say thank you.
Your curiosity, support, and enthusiasm fuel every story we tell and every mile we travel together.
Because of you, we've explored history, science, culture, and the wonderfully weird from canned meat to color coded buses, and we're just getting started.
So, from the bottom of our podcasting hearts, thank you for listening, sharing, subscribing, and being a part of our growing community.
You make this journey meaningful and way more fun.
Stay curious
Stay kind.
and stay tuned
There's always more to learn.
on Info on the Go. Hi, I'm William.
And I'm Kat.
And that makes this Info on the Go.
Answering questions you want to know.
Hey, Kat, I think you added this to the list, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You know,
Casey wanted us to do this one. So this is a listener request.
yeah, and I've never heard of this person, but I found this to be extremely interesting.
In a society that often tries to fit people into the same mold, people with autism remind us that there is no one right way to think, feel, or be.
Temple Grandin is a pioneering scientist, inventor, and outspoken advocate whose work has transformed both the livestock industry and the conversation around autism awareness.
Born in 1947, Mary Temple Grandin. Born in 1947, Mary Temple Grandin. She revolutionized animal handling practices, designing more humane systems that are now widely used today.
Drawing from her own experiences with autism, she has become a powerful voice for neurodiversity, promoting greater understanding and inclusion.
A professor at Colorado State University, Grandin has authored numerous influential books and research papers.
Her impact was recognized in 2010 when Time magazine named her the world's 100 most influential people, and her inspiring journey was brought to life in the Emmy-winning biographical film Temple Grandin.
To this day, she continues to champion better opportunities for autistic individuals and push for innovative approaches in science and society.
So, Temple Grandin was born in Boston, Massachusetts, into a well-off family with deep roots in American industry and innovation.
Because another woman working in the household was also named Mary, her family chose to call her by her middle name, Temple, a name that would later become known around the world.
Her mother, Anna Purves, later Coulter, was a woman of many talents, an actress, a singer, and the granddaughter of John Coleman Purves, one of the inventors of the aviation autopilot.
She
Hmm.
also held an English degree from Harvard.
Temple's father, Richard McCurdy Grandin, came from a prominent lineage as well.
A real estate agent by trade, he was heir to the Grandin Farms, the largest corporate wheat farming enterprise in the United States at the time.
Wow. So she already had some kind of livelihood on the farm and experiencing, right?
Right.
Temple's early family life was shaped by both privilege and change.
Her parents divorced when she was 15, and a few years later, her mother remarried Ben Coulter, a jazz saxophonist from New York.
Hmm. Her father passed away in California in 1993.
Temple was the oldest of four siblings.
She often speaks of one sister who struggled with dyslexia, another who became a sculptor, and a third who pursued art, and a brother who carved out a career in banking.
The Grandin family tree stretches back to bold entrepreneurial roots.
Her paternal great grandfather, John Livingston Grandin, and his brother, William James Grandin, were French Huguenots who first made their mark drilling for oil.
In a memorable twist of fate, John Grandin once walked out of a meeting with John D. Rockefeller after being kept waiting too long, missing an opportunity that could have changed the family's path entirely. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I would say so.
that's crazy.
Yeah, just goes to prove you don't keep a Grandin waiting.
That Rockefeller did pretty good for himself, though.
And he did do that. Instead, the brothers went into banking. And after the financial crash of Jay Cook's firm, they acquired thousands of acres in North Dakota.
There, they established wheat farms in the fertile Red River Valley, even building dormitories for their workers.
The town of Grandin, North Dakota, still bears their name.
Wow. Though Temple was raised in an Episcopal church, she moved away from traditional religious beliefs in early life.
Instead, she embraced a scientific worldview, one that would guide her through a groundbreaking career at the intersection of neuroscience, animal behavior, and engineering.
Temple Grandin wasn't officially diagnosed with autism until she was an adult.
As a toddler, the only label doctors could offer was brain damage, a vague and deeply unsettling term that lingered for decades. Wow, that's kind of crazy to have to grow up with that.
Right. It wasn't until she was 63 during advanced brain imaging at the University of Utah in 2010 that the early misdiagnosis was finally laid to rest.
At age 63,
Talk about a late diagnosis.
seriously. But back then in the 50s, understanding of autism was limited at best, right?
At best.
Yeah.
When Temple was just 2 years old, the prevailing medical wisdom was to institutionalize children who show signs of developmental differences.
Well, I'm glad that's sad in its own right.
hmm
This harsh recommendation drove a painful wedge between her parents. Her father was prepared to follow it, while her mother fiercely resisted.
As she should.
Yes.
That decision to fight for Temple's potential became a defining turning point in her life.
Determined to find a better path, Temple's mother sought out some of the best minds in the field of child development at Boston Children's Hospital.
Eventually, she found a neurologist who suggested speech therapy instead of confinement.
At just 2.5 years old, Temple began working with a dedicated speech therapist.
A year later, her mother hired a nanny who played structured games like turn taking with Temple and her sister, laying the groundwork for the social skills that would take years to develop.
Temple entered kindergarten. I said it like a kindergartner.
hmm
Temple entered kindergarten at Dedham County Day School, where teachers and classmates made an effort to understand and support her unique needs.
Despite the challenges, there were flashes of hope. Grandin would later credit many of her early mentors and educators for nurturing her talents and making her feel seen.
Teachers always touch students. There's those teachers that stand out through time. I have a couple of them.
That's true, but I have a couple of them too.
Yeah. Still, not all of her school years were kind. Temple has often described junior high and high school as the most difficult and painful chapters of her life. Years marked by bullying, isolation, and the struggle to fit into a world that didn't yet understand people like her. But I mean, think about the time that she's growing up in. Like, don't really understand a lot about what's going on with her. Kids in this time era
Were
are
rough.
very unkind. There was no safe space or anything like that.
Nah.
And yeah, I mean,
And everything was by word of mouth for the most part.
yeah, and her mother could have just took the easy road, right, and had her institutionalized.
Yeah, and then she wouldn't be who she was today.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't until her teenage years that her mother stumbled across a diagnostic checklist for autism.
Reading through it, she suddenly recognized Temple's behaviors with startling clarity.
Though the term autistic savant would come later, this moment of recognition brought a new lens through which to view Temple's incredible mind, a mind that, in time, would change how the world understands autism itself.
Temple's early school years were anything but easy, as we kind of mentioned earlier.
Right. From 7th to ninth grade, she attended Beaver County Day School until the day she was expelled at 14 for throwing a book at a classmate who had mocked her. Good for her.
Yeah, for real. Temple, who often called herself the nerdy kid, was a target for relentless teasing.
Her classmates dubbed her a tape recorder because of the way she repeated phrases, a trait now recognized as a common behavior in autistic individuals.
I can laugh about it now, she once said in a 2012 interview, but back then it really hurt.
Well, yeah. And not long after her expulsion, her parents' marriage dissolved.
It was a time of emotional turbulence, but also, unknowingly at the time, it was the beginning of something transformative.
When she was 15, Temple spent a summer on a cattle ranch in Arizona owned by her step-aunt Anne.
That summer changed everything. The hands on experience with animals lit a spark in Temple, a fascination that would grow into a groundbreaking career in animal science and welfare.
Temple's schooling during those years is often cited under various names, but the most crucial chapter came when her mother enrolled her at Hampshire County School in Rindage, New Hampshire.
This small school, funded by child psychologist Henry Patey, specialized in helping bright but misunderstood students thrive outside the constraints of traditional education.
There, Temple didn't just find understanding, she found belonging.
She even became Winter Carnival Queen and captain of the hockey team. I can
Oh,
ima- I can imagine her when throwing that book. I imagine she was pretty have you ever watched a hockey game?
no.
No, they get pretty violent.
I have heard they get pretty violent.
They get pretty violent.
But perhaps most importantly, she met William Carlock, a former NASA scientist turned science teacher.
Carlock recognized Temple's potential and began a lifelong mentorship.
When Temple returned from her Arizona summer inspired by the calm she experienced using cattle squeeze chutes, she came up with a radical idea, a hug box, a device she hoped would help her cope with overwhelming sensory input.
Most adults dismiss this concept. Carlock didn't.
He encouraged Temple not only to build it, but to test it scientifically.
With his guidance and the support of the school founder, Henry Patey, she constructed her first hug box during her senior year at Hampshire.
Later, when she enrolled at the newly founded Franklin Pierce College, thanks again to a favor from Patey,
Carlock continued championing her. With skepticism about her device followed her into college, he urged her to collect data and run experiments.
and that advice paid off. Her hug box became one of the most widely cited examples of how autistic individuals can invent meaningful solutions to meet their own needs.
So, what is the Temple Hug Box, you might ask?
The Temple Grandin hug machine, often called a squeeze machine or hug box, is a remarkable invention designed to deliver deep touch pressure, offering a comforting embrace for individuals with sensory sensitivities, particularly those with autism.
So, imagine a hug that's always just right, gentle yet firm, soothing but not overwhelming.
And that's the magic of the hug machine. Using padded panels that apply consistent pressure to the sides of the body, it replicates the calming effects of a deep, reassuring hug.
For many, especially those who struggle with unpredictable or uncomfortable physical touch, this sturdy pressure can provide an incredible sense of relief.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Travel connects us. It's how we experience new cultures, make lasting memories, and grow together as a global community.
But let's be real, travel can be stressful.
That's why Level 8 creates luggage that's sleek, durable, and built to make your journey smoother.
Now is the perfect time to upgrade. Celebrate Level 8's anniversary with 20% off site wide using code PRE, capital A, capital S, and 20, now through July 23rd.
Prefer to shop later? Use code Level8Info10 anytime for 10% off, no expiration, no limits.
Level 8 luggage on another level.
Find the links and discount codes in the show notes. Hi, everyone. I want to tell you about tellmail.ai. Mail will guide your loved one through a personalized journey in storytelling. So if you're looking for a unique gift for a birthday, anniversary, or a wedding gift, tellmail.ai is perfect and it will last for generations to come. Mail will help guide your loved one into a perfectly crafted story that can later be transferred into a hardcover book. And this will last for generations. It's like any other gift that you could possibly give. That's tellmail.ai. Hi, everyone. Ever wish your energy boost came in candy form instead of some can with sketchy ingredients? Look no more because energy rocks are here. This isn't your average energy product. It pops, literally. I was researching for a show the other day, struggling to stay awake when I tried these wild popping candy crystals called Energy Rocks. Within minutes, I was focused, alert, and wide awake. Total lifesaver. Energy Rocks are like pop rocks for grown-ups, packed with fast-acting caffeine, B12, and L-theanine for smooth, crash-free energy. Just rip, pour, and pop. No pills, no drink, no mess. With only 4 grams of sugar and flavors like pineapple, mango, and cherry berry, it's candy with a purpose. Perfect for students, gamers, busy parents, podcasters, or anyone who hits the wall. Pop, focus, go. With Energy Rocks, use code INFO on the go 20 off to get 20% off your first order, or click the link in the show notes.
Sensory processing differences, including many autistic individuals, often experience intense reactions to textures, sounds, and other stimuli.
Deep touch pressure offers a grounding sensation, helping to ease anxiety and create a sense of calm in moments of distress.
Scientific studies and personal testimonies alike highlight its ability to reduce stress, enhance mood, and promote relaxation.
And if you have an autistic child or an autistic person that is mute, I mean, just think about this, how this machine could really change that person's life.
Right.
Temple Grandin's inspiration for this invention came from an unexpected place. Her experiences observing cattle on her aunt's farm.
She noticed how animals in squeeze chutes became visibly calmer when pressure was applied to their bodies.
Do you know what this is?
Hmm.
Okay. I'll kind of describe it real quick for those that might not know. Usually it starts off kind of like a funnel, and as the animal goes into the smaller part, it kind of compresses them a little bit, and then there's this thing that they can use to like hold their head still so they can, give them shots, whatever they need to do with the animal.
Right.
Seeing the soothing effect firsthand, she adopted the principle to develop a solution for humans who might benefit from similar pressure based comfort.
While originally designed for autistic individuals, the Hug Machine has found a wider audience.
Many people with ADHD, anxiety disorders, and sensory sensitivities use it to regulate stress and find balance.
Its potential applications continue to grow as researchers explore new ways to harness deep touch pressure for emotional and sensory support.
Maybe we do one on deep touch pressure support.
Yeah.
Okay. Temple's early academic path didn't follow a traditional script, but that never stopped her.
After graduating from Hampshire County School in 1966, she earned a bachelor's degree in human psychology from Franklin Pierce College in 1970.
She then shifted her focus to animals, earning a master's degree in animal science from Arizona State University in 1975.
Finally, she capped off her academic journey with a PhD in animal science from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign in 1989.
Temple Grandin has long been a force for change in the autism community, breaking barriers and reshaping conversations around neurodiversity.
As one of the first adults to publicly share her experience of being autistic, she challenged decades of stigma and misunderstanding, a moment Steve Silverman highlights in his book Neurotribes.
Grandin's writing has opened doors to greater understanding.
Bernard Brimland, a pioneering autism researcher and father of an autistic child, wrote the foreword to her first book, Emergence, labeled Autistic, 1986, praising her ability to articulate her thoughts and emotions in a way few had done before.
Later, in Thinking in Pictures, released in 1995, neurologist Oliver Sacks described her work as a bridge between our world and hers, offering a rare glimpse into an entirely different way of processing the world.
In her early writings, Grandin described herself as a recovered autistic, a term Rimland echoed.
However, as she continued to explore autism, she shifted her perspective, realizing she had adopted rather than recovered, something Silverman also noted.
Over time, Grandin expanded the conversation around autistic thinking.
By 2006 edition of Thinking in Pictures, she had identified three distinct types of autistic intelligence.
Visual thinkers, like herself, who process information and provide precise photographic images.
Music and math thinkers who excel in pattern recognition and may thrive in fields like mathematics or programming.
Verbal logic thinkers, who lean toward language based thinking and often gravitate to subjects like history.
Her later book, The Autistic Brain, built this framework exploring cognitive differences and the science behind visual and spatial thinking.
Grandin's impact goes beyond autism advocacy. Her deep visual memory has allowed her to revolutionize livestock facility design.
She has credited her ability to mentally reconstruct environments and detect overlooked details as key to her success in improving the humane treatment of animals.
Her first public talk on autism came in the mid 1980s thanks to Ruth C. Sullivan, a founder of the Autism Society of America.
Initially shy, Grandin listened more than she spoke, but once she addressed an audience, she became a sought after speaker.
People connected with her first-hand descriptions how sounds could feel overwhelming, how everyday experiences could trigger anxiety.
Her insights brought clarity to many families and professionals struggling to understand autism.
A firm believer in early intervention and the importance of supportive teachers, Grandin advocates for guiding autistic children's interests in ways that empower them.
She's also a proponent of neurodiversity, emphasizing that while therapies may be necessary for those with severe challenges, autistic individuals with milder traits should not be forced to conform to neurotypical standards.
Her stance has led to discussions on how society can embrace different cognitive styles rather than try to eliminate autism.
Temple Grandin has reshaped both animal science and autism advocacy, leaving a lasting impact on multiple fields.
In the 1980s, Grandin's research uncovered a crucial insight. Cattle are highly sensitive to visual distractions, shadows, dangling chains, and unexpected movements, factors that were previously overlooked.
This discovery led to more humane facility designs, reducing stress for livestock.
Her PhD, research at the University of Illinois, focused on environmental enrichment for pigs, an area she later expanded in Animals Make Us Human.
Hmm. Her influence skyrocketed with livestock handling and transport, first published in 1993 and revised through the years.
As professor at a Colorado State University, she mentored research that proved a key industry concept: calm cattle gain more weight, changing the way ranchers manage livestock.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. Calm cattle gain more weight. I mean, that's what the whole thing behind cattlemen is.
Hmm.
Yeah. Grandin center track double rail conveyor restrainer system, widely used in slaughter plants, minimizes stress during stunning, improving both efficiency and animal welfare.
She also introduced objective welfare scoring systems, pushing slaughterhouses to adopt higher standards for humane treatment.
Although some animal activists criticize her work, Grandin stands firm, arguing that her autism gives her a unique ability to see the world through animals' eyes.
She advocates early intervention for autistic children and emphasizes the need for supportive educators who can guide their strengths toward fulfilling careers.
Her essay, Animals Are Not Things, challenges the idea that animals are not merely property, insisting they deserve ethical protections.
Grandin has weighed in on controversial debates from pink slime in the beef industry to the ethics of meat consumption, sparking important conversations about animal welfare and neurodiversity.
Pink slime, you say? What is that?
Pink slime or lean finely textured beef is a food additive made from lean beef trimmings that are separated from fat using heat and centrifuges. The resulting paste is treated with antimicrobial agents such as ammonium hydroxide or citric acid to eliminate bacteria.
It's commonly added to ground beef to reduce fat content or serve as a filler. While permitted in the United States, It faces restrictions in Canada and the European Union due to differing food regulations. And I think we should probably just do a whole little short thing on a dash of info on pink slime.
Agreed.
Okay.
LFTB became a controversial topic in 2012 after media scrutiny raised concerns about its presence in food products. However, in 2018, the USDA reclassified it as ground beef, allowing its inclusion in beef labels.
Despite the past controversy, it remains an ingredient in many processed beef products, sparking ongoing discussions about food labeling and consumer transparency.
Though her scientific contributions, humane facility designs, and thought provoking advocacy, Temple Grandin continues to inspire change, proving that thinking differently can transform the world.
Temple Grandin's story is a powerful reminder that the world doesn't progress by following the expected path. It moves forward when people dare to think differently. I would agree with that 100%.
Absolutely. Through courage, persistence, and a mind uniquely her own, Grandin has changed not only how we treat animals, but how we understand the human mind itself.
She has turned what others once saw as a limitation into a source of innovation, empathy, and insight.
Her legacy lives in every child who feels seen for the first time, in every animal treated with dignity, and in every institution reshaped by compassion and science.
Temple Grandin didn't just open doors, she built new ones so others like her could walk through them.
And because she did, the world is not only more humane, it is more human.
Hmm. That's good, Kat. I like that.
Well, thanks.
In a world quick to label and limit, Grandin proves the extraordinary potential that lies in embracing difference.
Hers is not just a story of overcoming, it's a blueprint for how brilliance can flourish when we choose inclusion over exclusion and understanding over fear.
Wow, that's a pretty powerful statement there.
Agreed.
Temple Grandin once said, "The world needs all kinds of minds." And thanks to her, more of us now believe that to be true.
Right. And before we go, here are some facts about autism. 1 in 36 U.S. children was identified with autism spectrum disorder, as of the CDC's 2023 report.
This represents a continued increase in prevalence from earlier estimates, 1 in 59 in 2014.
ASD is nearly 4 times more common in boys than in girls.
1 in 23 boys, 1 in 92 girls. This gap is narrowing slightly as awareness grows, and girls, who often present differently, are diagnosed more accurately.
ASD affects all racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups, but disparities in diagnosis and access to services persist. As of 2020, for the first time, autism prevalence was higher among Black and Hispanic children than among white children in some areas, indicating improved outreach but also raising new equity concerns.
About 1 in 6 children aged 3 to 17 in the United States had a developmental disability like autism, ADHD, learning disabilities, speech and language impairments. And this is according to data from 2009 to 2017.
Around 31% of children with ASD also have an intellectual disability, IQ below 70. While 44% have IQs in the average or above average range, IQ of 85 plus demonstrating the broad spectrum of cognitive abilities.
The brain is it is one of those things that we really just don't understand.
Right.
The median age of diagnosis is now around 4 years old, but some children are diagnosed as early as 18 to 24 months with reliable screening tools and parental awareness.
Early intervention is linked to better long term outcomes in communication, social skills, and independence.
Many autistic individuals also experience ADHD, anxiety, epilepsy, gastrointestinal disorders, or sensory processing challenges.
Employment statistics remain concerning.
Nearly 85% of autistic adults with a college education are unemployed or underemployed.
However, more companies like Microsoft, SAP, and JP Morgan Chase are launching neurodiversity hiring initiatives to address this gap and tap into autistic talents.
Autism has no single known cause.
It's believed to result from a combination of genetic and environmental factors affecting early brain development.
And, there's this myth out there that vaccines cause autism. Vaccines do not cause autism, a conclusion supported by dozens of large-scale studies worldwide.
Globally, around 1 in 100 children is diagnosed with autism, though this varies by country based on diagnostic tools, healthcare access, and cultural stigma.
Wow, it's this one was really eye-opening for a lot of different reasons.
Right.
Um, I really I found this to be very interesting all the way
Me
around.
too. It's really cool that somebody like her came around to shake things up.
Yeah, just think if her mom had conformed with her father and institutionalized her.
That would have been really sad.
Yeah, I mean, she's done so much for the cattle industry, actually, slaughterhouses in general. But not only that, she's brought all this different awareness around autism. I mean, we done an episode about it.
Right.
Yeah, and tell Casey thank you for this one. I found this one to be very intriguing.
Well, I will tell him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the basis of the show, curiosity, right?
Exactly. If you would like to support this podcast,
Click the Patreon links in the show notes.
William and I want to thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Join the Facebook group at Info on the Go
Share with us your show ideas.
or ask us a question.
Subscribe and follow us wherever you get your podcast.
Send us a text using the link in the show notes or leave a review.
And you can email us at
infoonthegopodcast@gmail.com.
and yes, that is all one word. Till next time.
Stay curious. Hi, everyone. We're on Patreon. Find the link in the show notes. Show off your love for being curious with the official Info on the Go merch.
Whether you're sipping your coffee from our sleek mug, staying warm in one of our cozy hoodies, or rocking that fun fact inspired t shirt, or just carrying one of your essentials in our reusable tote bag, you'll be repping curiosity and style everywhere you go.
Each item is designed with our curious, on the go community in mind, and every purchase helps support the show. Wear it, sip it, carry it. Info on the Go is more than a podcast, it's a way of life.
Patreon, find the link in the show notes.